Hi everyone, so has anyone been watching Married at First Sight Australia recently? Because I've been watching that and I've picked up quite a few things just from this programme. And so I thought I'd make a video where I talk about the 5 dating or relationship no-nos. So this is just me giving my opinion. You can also leave your comments, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your views on this. So the first one that people make, and you can call it a mistake, is asking someone what's their type. And then when someone shares with you what their type is, feeling insecure and then allowing it to ruin the relationship. So basically, if someone is clear on what type of woman or man they've liked previously, then they've obviously dated that person. Maybe they like tall men, maybe they like blondes, whatever it is, it's got nothing to do with you because they're with you. So on this program, Married at First Sight, the woman was insistent on asking the man what his type is. He then gave her a type, which was petite, blonde, and other things he gave. She's not petite, and she's also got ginger hair. So automatically she then starts feeling insecure. She starts thinking, oh, well, you won't like me because I'm not your type. And that ended up spiraling. If someone is spending time getting to know you, then they're going to get to know you. Just because their previous types were all leggy blondes, or just because their previous types were muscular men, doesn't mean that if you're the opposite to that they're not interested in you. They're with you at this moment, getting to know you. So the biggest mistake you can make is, first of all, asking someone their type, but then when they give you the answer, being insecure about that and then allowing that to impact on the relationship. The second one is talking about your partner negatively in front of others. There's nothing that turns someone off more than being in a crowd or a group or being in a situation and they can hear or they can see that their partner is negatively slating them off. Who wants to like hear that, or who wants to experience that? Your partner, even if they've got an issue with you, you don't want them telling the whole world, oh, well, he's this or she's that. So on Married at First Sight, it was a good example where the woman, because she was struggling with an issue with her man, rather than them taking it privately, or rather than them, leaving it till they get back home, in front of the whole group at the dinner party, she's telling everyone what went down before he even arrives. Then when he arrives, all the women are jumping on him. And that's one of the things I don't like about Married at First Sight, is that it seems biased towards women. I'm a woman, but even the narration is always geared towards, oh, this person has to make up from what he said, or this woman feels sad, or whatever it is. It's always from the woman's point of view. Now the problem is, 2 of them were in that relationship, so they both have to take responsibility for what they did. So what she was doing, the woman, is telling all the girls, how he's made her feel and how he's the villain. So all the women were then coming over to him, questioning him, and that just turned him off, and he ended up leaving. I mean, he's gone back home, but he's saying that he might return. But she was in the wrong for that. Either way, it's just not a good look. Whatever your issues are, it's fine speaking to a counsellor, and it's fine offloading. You might say, oh, we've had an argument, or we're not in a good place. But when you put all the blame on your partner, and when you publicly shame them or talk badly about them, it's just not a good thing to do. The third one is assuming you know what your partner is thinking or feeling, and then making decisions based on that. If you're not in the situation where you can ask your partner what they're feeling or what they're thinking, then it's just best to just let it go for a little bit. But don't assume that they're not attracted to you because their previous types have been something. Don't assume that they're doing certain behaviours because you feel that it's to do with trauma, or because of this or that or the other. Loads of people do this. There was a couple on Married at First Sight where they were asked to write a letter, and the man decided he didn't want to write the letter. And whatever reasons, because he hasn't said his reasons, he just keeps saying he doesn't want to. She's making up all these stories in her head. He didn't want to do it because he was lazy. He didn't want to do it because he didn't want to share. He didn't want to do it because he doesn't like me. And then she's pushing and pushing and pushing, trying to say to him, these are the reasons you don't want to do it. And that's just pushing him further away. I don't even know why he didn't want to do it, but it's his choice. He doesn't have to do the exercise, but you're not going to get him to acknowledge why he did it unless you come in from a different angle. So instead of us making assumptions about our partner, oh, they must be thinking this about me, they must be feeling this, just ask. Or if you're not ready to ask, just let it go until you're both ready to talk about it. The fourth one is trying to go too fast and rush things. Attraction isn't always there at the beginning. I've been in relationships where it started off where I didn't really have like a physical attraction, but I was attracted to the person's personality or their sense of humour or their intelligence. Something attracted me, which kept me going on dates, and then eventually I saw the person, and then it just happened. You know, chemistry is good when it's there in the beginning, but chemistry isn't always there. But when you're trying to rush things and push things, and this show sets it up that way, Married at First Sight sets it up where it's trying to, obviously you get married from the beginning, so you're already on a, going too fast. But then when you're trying to say, why is this person not attracted to me? Why are we not having sex yet? Why are we not doing this? It's just putting pressure on both of you. You know, if you've entered an experiment such as this, where it is about you marrying a complete stranger, you can't expect things to go at the same pace as if, you know, in real life, if you dating someone for 6 months. So yeah, don't try to push things. Just wait for things to happen naturally. If someone isn't attracted to me and they tell me outright, I'm not attracted to you, then, you know, it's their choice. Do you want to continue to see me and see if something happens, or do you want to walk away? You can do either. But if someone doesn't tell me and I don't know they're not attracted to me, then we'll go with actions. But there's no right or wrong with it, but you just have to either choose to have patience or you just have to choose to move on. But I think pushing people or forcing people into something only means that eventually they're going to do their own thing because they're going to feel pushed or forced. So the next one is nagging and controlling and forcing the issue. I've already mentioned that with the lady who, when she did her letter, she put a lot of heart and time and energy into writing a letter, talking about the most important thing in her life, which was her child. So she wanted to share that letter with him. She walked into the room, this on Married at First Sight, and then he didn't write the letter. So her projection was anger, because she's like, I've spent all this time doing this letter and you haven't done anything. So everything else went out the window. She was just badgering him about, why haven't you written the letter? Why are you not taking this seriously? Why don't you care about me? It went all over the place, and it was nothing to do with that. He just made that decision. That's him. If he wants to decide not to do a task, then she has the choice then to either show him her letter, which she put the energy into, or not. And I think sometimes this is something when I'm working with couples, a lot of the time I talk about this idea of you're not responsible for another person. Don't try to control another person's actions, behaviour, language. Leave it to them to choose how they're going to behave. Your role is to decide whether that's acceptable or not. So you can't say to someone you want them to do A, B and C. You're not their mother, you're not their guardian, you're not their police officer. You know, you're just, you can express what your needs are, but if they continue to behave in a certain way, you still have a choice. You can walk away. But I think with the nagging and the trying to control people and trying to force the issue, all it does is pushes that person further away, because nobody as an adult wants to feel like they're being controlled, wants to be told what to do. In a relationship, you want that flow where you feel like there's enough trust between you that you don't have to say anything to your partner because you just know that you can trust them. You don't have to remind them to do things because you know they're going to do it. You have faith and trust in that person. That's one of the biggest things you can do in a relationship, is have enough faith and trust in the person that you don't have to say anything, you just know it's going to be done. And the final thing is asking for honesty when really you don't want it. So on Married at First Sight, they did this rating exercise where you have to rate all the other women or men in order of which one is more attractive. Now, most people, you know full well, they're just going to say their partner is attractive because they don't want any heat. They don't want the fire. They want to just put their partner first. They're never going to say that they feel more attracted to another person in that experiment. And I know most of them were lying, but it was just easier, safer, and less hassle to just say, well, you're number one, you're number one. A few of the people, though, took that risk. They didn't put their partner first. They put their partner second or third. And it all just kicked off. And I just think, what's the point in you asking someone to be honest, and then when they're honest, going mad at them? It's like when people say to someone, have you ever cheated? And the person says, yes, I cheated. And then they explain why they cheated. And then the person from that point says, I don't want to date you because you're a cheater. Or that's going against you that you cheated. Well, why did you ask? Would you prefer that person to lie and say they didn't cheat? And then when you find out later, they've had it anyway. So you have to put yourself in a position where if you want honesty, then you need to accept what the answer might be. So these are all dating no-nos that I just think, you know, if you really think about it clearly, then you'll know that doing some of these things is not going to benefit you and it's not going to benefit the relationship. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye.